Virtually every home had a candidate or knew a candidate among those who said KCP and KCSE. KCP alone had close to 1.4 million candidates. The steps outlined below are critical. 1. The circumstances under which the printing of the exams was transferred from the UK to Mombasa Road must be investigated. 2. Kenyans must be told how the integrity of the exams was secured during the transfer from the UK to Mombasa Road and later to another printer in Asia. 3. It is the right of Kenyans to know the cost of termination of the contract with the UK firm. 4. Kenyans must be informed of how the Mombasa Road firm was identified and awarded the tender and if procurement laws were followed. 5. Kenyans must also be informed of how the firm to relay KCP results was identified, whether it is the same one that will relay the KCSE results and whether procurement laws were adhered to. Going by the fate of Auditor General Margaret Nakango, we believe political interference will not allow EACC and DCI to deal with this matter, but to put this issue to the agencies as a matter of public record. And the warning must go out there that in another era, all will be held accountable, including these criminals. It is our position that the stakeholders together, headed by the Catholic Church or any other group that stakeholders can agree on, and get to the bottom of the mess building up in our exam management. There must be no room for favoritism in conduct and marking of exams, where some schools and students are allowed to cheat and get away with it, as happened in last year's KCSE and this year's KCPE. Sanity, integrity, and dignity must return to exams. The buck stops with His Excellency, Mr. William Ruto. It is our firm belief that mega corruption in billions cannot happen without the complicity of the top. Whether it is 17 billion shilling in oils or billions involved in the person's cooking oil, we know the dynamics of how government operates. The CS, the PS are small fries. The buck stops with Mr. Ruto. End of statement. Yes.
Question?
Jina langu ni Waweru Nyambura kutoka Nairobi. Now that you vile ambavyo umesema the exams integrity was compromised. So do we recall the results and what does now this put KCSE into?
This is a mess caused by the government, and the ones who need to clean that mess. The challenge is to them, not to us. We pointed out this mess, but we also say that a task force ought to be set up to investigate and come up with what we can call amicable way out of this mess.
My name is Mutahi going from Citizen TV, and my question is basically looking at the issue you've spoken about on the integrity of the exam. And education is supposed to be an equalizer. You have rightfully mentioned that a number of students and institutions have moved to court wanting justice because they believe the results that were issued to them were not their own. In the event the ministry, as it is ongoing with the process of placement, does not allow these students to, in the interest of public justice, and especially for the children. Do we see a point where you may seek to be enjoined in trying to get justice for them? And on the second matter, on the control of budget and the tribulations she's facing, there's a lot of questions that have been raised regarding the commitment of the Kenya Kwanza administration in combating corruption, and whether the tribulations on the control of budget are basically meant to slow her down owing to her sharp criticism of the government and possibly its operations.
Well, first, this other first one here, you're talking about investigations into this matter. Of course, as I mentioned, there are really some people who are in court challenging the outcome. Yet the ministry is also in the process of admitting the others into schools. This itself actually shows the kind of chaos that we're going through. Of course, the courts will pronounce themselves on this matter, so we don't want to prejudge what the court will say over this matter. But it's a very sorry state of affairs I think stand right now. And as what we want to see done is to ensure that we get to the bottom of this matter, how it was conceived, who were involved, and who are the beneficiaries of this, so that this thing does not recur again in the future. The second question you're saying is about... I made a statement yesterday, and I saw that this matter was in Parliament also this morning. Our belief is that this lady is actually being witch hunted because of the stand that she's taken. Because recently, when she appeared before the bilateral team at Bomas and talked about inflation of salaries, that her own salary had been inflated in the budget more than 3 times, basically exposing the corruption that exists in the government. I think that people are uncomfortable with her. They want to get rid of her from that office, because you're talking about something that happened 80 years ago. The ECC is the one which is prosecuting. She was interviewed and appointed, and before somebody is appointed to a position like that one here, you must get a